in the scorching heart of the Rajasthan desert, where the sun beat down like a merciless hammer on an anvil of sand, an old fakir named Baba Ramdas trudged through the endless dunes. His weathered skin was etched with the lines of countless years, his beard a tangled white cascade that reached his bony chest. He carried nothing but a worn staff and a small sack of dates, surviving on the alms of kind strangers and the whispers of the wind. But on this fateful day, as the horizon shimmered with heat mirages, something unimaginable shattered the silence of his solitary pilgrimage. A piercing scream echoed across the barren landscape, freezing Baba in his tracks. It wasn't the howl of a jackal or the cry of a lost camel. It was human, raw, and filled with terror. His heart pounded as he scanned the dunes, spotting a figure in the distance, a young woman no more than 20, collapsing into the sand. Blood stained her colorful sari, and her eyes were wide with shock. Who was she? How had she ended up here, miles from any village? Baba rushed forward, his frail legs defying their age, only to discover the horror up close. She clutched a deep gash on her arm, and behind her, fresh tracks suggested she wasn't alone. Predators, bandits, or something far worse? As he knelt beside her, the girl gasped, "Help! They're coming!" Her voice was a whisper, laced with desperation. Baba's mind raced. In his 80 years, he'd seen mirages play tricks, but this was real. Her name was Mira, she managed to utter, a runaway from a powerful landlord's estate. She'd fled an arranged marriage to a man twice her age, one who beat his previous wives into submission. But escape came at a price. Hired thugs were on her trail, armed and ruthless. Baba's eyes darted to the horizon. Shadows moved, closing in like vultures. Could an old man like him stand against armed killers? The suspense hung thick as the desert air. One wrong move, and both would be buried under the sands forever. Baba helped Mira to her feet, his calloused hands steady despite the fear gnawing at him. "Child, the divine guides us," he murmured, though doubt flickered in his soul. They stumbled toward a cluster of ancient ruins, half-buried relics of a forgotten kingdom where Baba hoped to hide. As they ducked into the shadows of crumbling walls, the pursuers' voices grew louder, harsh shouts in the local dialect, promising violence. Mira's wound throbbed, blood dripping like accusations onto the stone floor. "Why help me?" she whispered, her dark eyes searching his. Baba paused, memories flooding back. Long ago, he'd been no saint. A wealthy merchant who'd abandoned his family for spiritual pursuits, leaving a daughter behind to fend for herself. Was this redemption, or fate's cruel joke? The first thug appeared at the ruin's edge, a burly man with a scarred face and a gleaming knife. "There she is!" he bellowed, charging forward. Baba's heart stopped, shocking revelation. The man was his own long-lost nephew, twisted by greed and the landlord's gold. How had the past circled back like this? Suspense built as Baba stepped out, staff raised. "Halt in the name of the god!" he cried. The thug laughed, lunging with deadly intent. Mira screamed, but Baba dodged with surprising agility, his staff cracking against the attacker's knee. A howl of pain echoed, but more men emerged, 3 in total, circling like wolves. In that pulse-pounding moment, Mira revealed her secret. Hidden in her sari was a small pouch of jewels, stolen from the landlord to fund her freedom. "Take them and go," she pleaded with the thugs. But greed fueled their rage. They wanted her dead, not just the loot. Baba whispered a plan: use the ruins' traps. Ancient mechanisms, he'd heard legends of them. As one thug advanced, Baba lured him toward a loose stone slab. With a shove, the ground gave way, swallowing the man into a hidden pit below. A blood-curdling scream pierced the air, shocking even the hardened pursuers. One down, but the leader, the nephew, snarled, "Uncle, is that you? After abandoning us, you dare interfere?" The confession hung heavy. Baba had left his village amid scandal, accused of embezzling family funds for his enlightenment. His nephew, orphaned young, had turned to crime. Suspense thickened as they clashed, staff versus blade, wisdom versus fury. Mira, weak but determined, grabbed a loose rock and hurled it, striking another thug's head. He crumpled, unconscious. Now only the nephew remained, knife slashing wildly. Baba parried, but a graze opened a wound on his shoulder. Pain exploded, but he pressed on. "Forgive me, boy," Baba gasped. "I was wrong." The nephew hesitated, eyes flashing with old hurt. Could mercy prevail, or would blood spill? In a twist that froze time, a sandstorm erupted from nowhere, winds howling like enraged spirits. Visibility dropped to zero, sands whipping like daggers. The nephew vanished in the chaos, his curses lost to the gale. Baba and Mira huddled together, her hand clutching his as the world turned to fury. Hours passed in suffocating darkness. When the storm cleared, the thugs were gone, perhaps buried, perhaps fled. But the shock came next. Mira's jewels had scattered in the wind, lost forever. Freedom's price paid in full. As they emerged, battered but alive, Baba tended her wound with herbs from his sack. "Why risk everything for me?" Mira asked again. He smiled faintly. "Because in you I see the daughter I failed. Life's desert is vast, but kindness is the oasis." They journeyed to a nearby village where Mira found work as a weaver, her spirit unbroken. Baba, changed, returned to his old home to make amends, sharing his tale as a moral. Redemption hides in unexpected encounters, and true wealth lies not in gold but in forgiveness. Yet, the story's deepest suspense lingered unspoken. Months later, whispers reached Baba. The nephew survived, reformed by the storm's miracle, now aiding runaways like Mira. Had divine intervention truly shifted fates? Or was it mere chance? In the desert's endless expanse, answers blew away like sand, leaving only the lesson: face your shadows, or they devour you. Mira thrived, marrying a kind artisan on her terms. Baba, in his twilight years, became a storyteller, weaving morals into every yarn. But that shocking meeting in the dunes? It proved that even in desolation, hope blooms, suspenseful, unpredictable, and eternally interesting.